Year 3 of fair prep.
Here, let me see that. What are you doing? Yeah.
Typical Saturday here at the deer shop. We got this going on. We got whatever Ethan's doing in there going on. Got whatever this is going on.
That's the latest project. I want to get him over. The water's probably cold.
That's the plan. Fish for the kids.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Deer Shop Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company.
Yeah. He went and watched a movie that has a $200 million production budget, and then the next thing he watched was our video on YouTube that has a $0 production budget.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years.
Your track job was the first fun track job. That kind of like, I think part of my life was influenced by that night.
Then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
That's what killed it. 5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
Joey takes
The shop is closing up.
Make sure he takes all his right antlers. You can't leave anything.
All right, guys. Deer Shop Podcast, episode 105.
We are ripping.
We are ripping. You have me and Isaac today sitting in the shop. We're going to give some updates, talk about what we've been doing, what's coming down the pike here real soon.
Pike.
Yeah, it's coming down the pike. I think
Pipe.
No, it's pike.
Pipe.
Look that up.
All right, we'll look it up at some point.
Coming down the pike. I'm going to look that up right now.
I would assume it's pipe.
Coming
come
down
the
the pike. The correct phrase is coming down the pike. It means that something is approaching, likely in the near future. The phrase originates from the term turnpike, a type of road.
Well, you used it right.
Let the world show that my grammar is just a little bit better than Isaac's.
Yep, he's older, more experience.
I don't know about that. We were going to do a big Hot Topics podcast, trying to get Born Again Matt and Aaron Olson, Next Step Outdoors, in here, but I wasn't able to pry Aaron away. He invited me to his kid's birthday party yesterday, and I was so busy with fair and the fact that my wife was working and I had Blair that I didn't go. And then he told me that he was too busy cleaning up from that to come hang out with us.
We do know how those first birthday parties go.
Yeah.
Yours was intense.
Yeah, it sure was. I think he's just avoiding us, though.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
we're not cool enough for him. We're not mobile enough.
Fits.
Popular enough.
Yeah, checks out.
But we'll try and get that one going here soon, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with those guys, since we do bring up what they talk about a lot on our podcast as well, and they're creators that live right down the street that we know pretty well. It'd be nice to get them on and go over all the fun stuff, shooting 3-year-olds, crossbows, corn piles,
Small
out of
bucks
state, small bucks out of state, all the stuff we banter about. I'd love to get them boys on here and talk about it.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out to the fair.
Yeah.
We sold a bunch of hats.
Yep, we did sell a bunch of hats. Let me take my notes on that. Fair booth was fun. Wild Time TV. We were there also with Dead Set Taxidermy Madison. She kind of hangs out with our group too every year there. She mounted a new buck every single day of the fair. Started from scratch every day.
Yeah, mounted $6.
Mounted $6.
6 days.
Pretty cool. I told her if we kill a velvet buck in Kentucky this year, which we're going to talk about Kentucky here in a minute, but if we kill a velvet buck in Kentucky, then I'm going to take it to her so she can do whatever with it. I'll kind of give her free reign to make it look cool, to be honest with you.
Speaking of taxidermy, who mounted Freeman's deer that's sitting behind the camera?
Grossenbacher.
God, that looks good.
Yeah, Grossenbacher did that one. He's got Matt's currently right now, too. So
That's a good.
Luke's buck is done, but I guess Joey said, because he took his to Joey, I guess Joey said that he's having a little bit of trouble with the hide around the armpits. So, like, he's not got it back yet. When Luke gets sledged back, it's going to go right there where Freeman's buck is. But Freeman's buck was in the booth all week with Hook. And it's hanging up in the shop now because I just didn't have time to get it back to him today. Group chat's been kind of testy lately, huh? I think we're all getting antsy.
Yeah, deer season's coming down on the wire.
We got deer season popping up and football season's popping up, which are like the two things that our group chat talks about. So all the boys have been on each other's asses a little bit. We got kind of gnarly with it today. But
what were you guys bankering about today? I was.
I don't know. Freeman made some comment about how we get our trail cameras for free. Okay, actually, no. Perfect time to talk about this. He was trying to set up his Tacticams for the first time this year because he hadn't done anything with them yet, and he was getting frustrated because they weren't working. Needed firmware updates. Blah blah blah. He asked us for help. Dylan was offering him some help because Dylan still does run some Tacticams. Me and Ethan both commented that we think they're pieces of junk, and that's why we stopped using them years ago. Mm-hmm. And then he made a slap back about how we get our cameras for free, and that must be nice. And
I wish.
Blah, blah, blah. And then I snapped back and blah, blah, blah. And then Nick put in, I called Freeman a weekend warrior like I always do. Nick chapped in something about how I don't kill any bucks anymore. And then I chapped to him how he's missed like 350 inches worth of bucks and, blah, blah, blah.
Back and forth.
Yeah. But
we don't get any trail cameras for free. We don't even get a discount, I don't think.
No. Next time Harold from Wise Eye calls me, I'm going to ask him if we can get some kind of discount because we don't, but we need to.
We have 20 of them.
But yeah, Freeman's buck was in here and it was at the fair and blah, blah. You guys probably don't give a shit about our group chat. Hold on. I got to scroll back up because there was some stuff I want to talk about and you jumped ahead. Isaac loves jumping ahead.
Computer's having a stroke.
You fixed it recently. Luke's comments. Let's talk about Luke's comments real quick. From the 2 podcasts ago, Luke started talking about his fixed blade broadhead hatred, and then it kind of went off onto like how he doesn't think people should be using trad bows anymore. And then he kind of reeled it back in at the end, but then we got a lot of comments. Like there was a whole bunch of people that said Luke was a dumbass and fuck that guy. They didn't realize, for one, I don't think they realized he's one of the brothers. Mm-hmm. One guy said, "Don't ever have that guy back on the podcast again." I'm like, well, that's kind of hard because he's a title sponsor of the podcast.
Well, Luke was wrong, but
yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, because so we talked about, you weren't there for the podcast. That's why I want to get your thoughts. Did you kill that mule deer up there with a fixed blade broadhead?
No,
that was expandable?
I've only ever killed a few deer early on with fixed blade.
I've killed some does, and my first buck, so after thinking about it a little bit longer, my first buck I did kill with a Muzzy MX4, I believe, and I've killed some does with Muzzy MX4s. I mean, we all use expandables now, and I don't use fixed blades anymore.
I might just switch back to a fixed blade just to piss
Luke off. I'm okay with it.
So the only reason, long story short, I'll sum it up. The only reason I switched away from fixed blade was because my last bow, which I had for a lot of years, was a Matthews VXR. Had it for 5-6 years. Wouldn't shoot fixed blades no matter what I would do. I just couldn't get that bow to tune properly because it was a 28-inch axle to axle with a 30-inch draw, and it couldn't tune. Taking it multiple places, we couldn't get it to tune with fixed blades. But now I have a new bow. It's a Phase 4, 33 or 32-inch axle to axle, and it shoots lasers. So I might shoot fixed blades again.
Luke has just had a lot of success in recent years killing a lot of deer, bucks and does with expandable broadheads. So he is hard on the expandable broadhead train. Yeah, obviously his comments came across pretty. No one should ever use them, but we actually have trad bow guys on our group. Dylan's gonna go. I think Dylan says he's gonna go full-time trad bow this year. So, and we forgot about Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay is a full-time fixed broadhead
Uncle
user.
Jay uses iron wills, which is like a single bevel, like the most fixed blade you can get.
Yeah,
and he's been pretty successful with it, I would say.
He's killed 1 buck in 10 years.
170.
That's true. So Isaac says he's going to switch to fixed blade broadheads. We'll update you on that.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not a problem.
I'm a cheap ass. I already got a bunch of expandables, so maybe I won't.
Well, I need new broadheads because, like we talked about, and we're actually going to talk about Faradyne a little bit later in this podcast. Again, Faradyne bought Ray just so I don't want to use Rage anymore because they're all just China-made junk. But
so Faradyne's a huge conglomerate Chinese company that's buying everything they can to make money.
Yeah, I talked to my contact, Cody Bender. We used to buy Rhino blinds because parts of them were made and assembled in Elyria. There was a guy that worked there that got a hold of us. His name was Cody Bender. He sold us some blinds at a good price, and we've been using them for the last couple of years. I saw him at the fair, and he said that he lost his job because Rhino sold to Faradyne. Faradyne was not even giving the company. They sold the company to their money at first, I guess. So there was some issues with that. And then they laid off all their employees, and just everything's made and assembled in China now with no product testing, no hunter input anymore. It's just a big movement of product. That's all it is. So we're done with that. I mean, I still have a couple that we'll use until they die, and then
I'm starting to hate a lot of products because we'll see a lot of name brand products or brands that we used to like, and you'll see this product, and then you'll see the same exact product on Amazon or whatever. You could tell it's exactly the same, but it's half the price, and it's an off-brand. So you know these companies now are just rebranding this Chinese shit and selling it for more.
Well, it's happened with Rage Broadheads for us. Rage Broadheads for sure. Rhino blinds now. It happened with Covert trail cameras. So they were they were making them as much as they could and doing all the product testing, and then they got big and sold out. We stopped using those years ago, but
what was that? Oh, was it USA Trail Cameras?
USA Trail Cameras, it was a company, it was a startup company that they weren't made in America yet. They were assembled here, and they were trying to go to all American made products, but they just couldn't do it because of the cost.
It's literally called USA Trail Cameras.
And COVID killed that, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what those people are up to anymore. I haven't talked to them in a long time.
I thought they turned into a different brand then. Well, and the same thing happened with was that Exodus?
Yeah, they got bought out, right?
Yeah, Whitetail Cribs guys.
Yeah, they got bought out, or no, Exodus could no longer afford to build anything, so they went belly up. And then
who were the Whitetail Cribs guys?
That was Exodus, and they sold everything to the one guy, Hoffer, Jake Hoffer, I believe his name is. He rebranded it as Whitetail, so he's still doing the podcast and Whitetail Cribs and making videos. Like he kind of bought, I believe he bought, the
social media rights.
Yeah, he bought the media rights to all their stuff. We kind of went past it a little bit. I should have opened with this. I know we're a couple minutes in, but I wanted to just talk about what recently happened in Lorain, Ohio. There was a big tragedy there. Officer Philip Wagner was shot and killed. Two other Lorain officers, Peter Gale and Brent Payne, were wounded in a shooting. It was all over national news. And if you're from Ohio, you obviously have seen all the coverage of it. A lot of our close friends and family know these guys and their family. There's some of them go to their churches and stuff. My fire department actually responded to the call, sent on a boat, and all this other stuff because it happened right next to the city I work in. And I wanted to bring it up because I have seen an unbelievable amount of support online for the shooter and anti-cop propaganda and basically chastising the officers and what happened and it's sympathizing for the shooter and the fact that someone was shooting cops. And to me, that's just unbelievable.
It's insane. It's
insane.
It's like a Fox 8 post on Facebook.
Hundreds of comments, and there was
it's about time someone started doing
50 plus comments, right?
Believe
before they even knew the details of what had happened, whether one of them had passed away and all that. There was people on there saying, "Good riddance. This needs to happen more. They get what they deserve." It's unbelievable to me. And if you're one of those types of people, please stop listening to our podcast and watching our videos because you're just a fucking loser. You're literally trash, scum of the earth loser. That happened a few weeks ago, and we haven't had a chance to really bring it up on the podcast yet. We obviously don't try and talk about morbid stuff like that often, but when something that close happens and people just start, targeting police officers to kill.
Yeah, then the backlash in our space, the social media space, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So be better. People be better.
Yeah, be better. I caught a few turtles today. For the first time since I was probably 22 or 23.
How legal is that?
No, the season opened either June or July 1st. But I know the season is open now. And they were out of a private pond. A lady we know from the fire association and from church has been wanting me to get rid of her turtles because she thinks they've been biting her dog when he goes swimming from time to time. And I was able to catch 2 in the first day that I've been there trying to catch them. So
I wonder even if it wasn't. We're not killing them.
No, actually, I think is it illegal to move them? I don't know. I think if I catch them, I might have to kill them.
All right. Well, game warden might come over here and write you a ticket.
Yeah. Sorry, Eric, because I rehomed some turtles.
Helped
out an old lady and rehomed some turtles. Well, let's get into some recent things that are happening now. 14 days from today, actually 14 days from yesterday, we're going to the beach.
Oh, should we do a podcast on that before we go? next week.
If we can get the fellers together. You know, we'll do a really bad job.
Our first ever podcast was about shark fishing, wasn't it? Second ever?
We do a really bad job of podcasting on location. We take that cooler with all our stuff in it all the time with us, and we never do a very good job of actually recording podcasts while we're doing the stuff. We have done 2 from West Virginia and 2 from Indiana.
We've done, and we've done
and
a
Kentucky,
couple on the road. We
Kentucky.
have done some.
But we don't. But this time, I think we should take the podcast stuff down there, and we can do one and get it out by Monday, hopefully, while we're down there.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Otherwise, we're going to have to record like 2 in the next 2 weeks or 3. So we'll have to figure that out.
We'll figure something.
But it's easy to take that cooler, and we have plenty of places on the beach to do the podcast or at the house. But we're going to be shark fishing all week.
Freeman's going to be pissed if we do a podcast, but we couldn't do the fantasy football.
Yeah, Freeman wants to do. Freeman's been brought up a lot in this podcast. He wants to do the fantasy football draft down there because he said 7 out of 12 are going to be at the house. But I don't want to think about fantasy football at all.
Sit around for 4 hours.
Well, yeah.
But we'd be sitting around doing a podcast talking about hunting.
We could do the podcast from the beach while we're fishing.
That's true.
Theoretically.
Okay.
Let's make that happen.
We can make that happen.
They could do a night podcast from the beach while fishing.
We can even probably cheat a little if we use mics and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
But let's go over the plan and the gear. That's your expertise. I'll let you talk for a little bit.
Yeah, we're land-based.
Break from me.
Land-based shark fishing again, and just kind of sport fishing from the beach. It's going to be a little different this year, I think, because we're in a more populated area.
Yes, but more of an off season.
Yeah, so we're going mid to late August. Kids should be back in school. The houses were cheap. It's technically like mid-season for the Outer Banks. And I don't know, have we ever been in August before? This time frame?
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember how the fishing was.
I don't know if we've been doing our land-based shark fishing stuff since we've been down in August. Maybe. You would think the later the summer, the better.
I think the later the summer, the better for the Outer Banks when it comes to any sort of fishing.
Because for one, it's going to be the beaches are going to be less crowded. It's going to be less hot. Mm-hmm. It's going to be less daylight. Like all the things that trigger the sharks to do.
Last time we went in the middle of July, when theoretically the fishing would kind of be the worst, and it wasn't bad.
No, we caught
one.
We caught one decent, good big one, and 2 or 3 smaller sharks.
Yeah,
so we did okay. We lost a shark at the last day,
and there was no bait. There was no small fish in the surf.
Nah,
so that might have hurt us a little bit. So who knows? Maybe there'll be some more bait and some more small fish in the surf this year.
We were definitely in an area that was better for fishing than we are going to be this time. What's the name of that? Chickachamangareya?
I can never say the.
There's a song about it.
It's an American Aquarium song.
Yeah, there's an American Aquarium song about the area we were.
Right
we were
now.
literally under the fucking water tower for Chickachamangareya or
something like that. Yeah, I can't say it.
Yeah,
but anyways, we'll be kayaking out baits at night, so we'll be shark fishing with the big poles at night, and we'll be casting during the day and kind of in the morning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much morning stuff I'm going to get done, obviously, but the plan's going to be beach all day, go back and eat dinner at the house. We're beachfront, so we can walk right out and then fish in the evening after dinner is when we can kayak our baits out and spend, till midnight.
Try our best to catch some big old sharks. We got all the equipment in the world. I'm not sure if Dylan's bringing another pole, but we have some huge spinning reels, and then we have one big 50 wide.
It'd be nice to be able to kayak out 2 major baits and then cast the rest, for smaller fish. But I mean, we've caught 3 nice sized sand tigers since we started doing this. The biggest one was last year on probably a 7-footer or whatever.
I'm sure they're like 300 pounds.
200 at least.
For us small bass fishermen, that's a big fish.
Yeah. And we've been able to catch a couple spinner sharks, a couple black tip sharks, caught plenty of stingrays. So obviously the plan would be this year to try and catch a more sporting shark.
Yeah, the elusive.
Like theoretically, a hammerhead or a lemon or like a bull shark is possible.
I don't know if you catch a lemon shark. Do they catch lemon sharks?
I think lemon.
Bull sharks, tiger sharks.
Lemons are like a small great white.
Yeah, tiger sharks. Bull
Yeah,
sharks,
actually, there's a chance of catching some actual tigers, not sand tigers, but actual tigers.
You can get into some bigger black tips, like 5-6 foot long black tips. Those will fight pretty well.
I want to catch a 10-foot hammerhead. A 10-foot hammerhead would be pretty sweet. They'll probably a 10-foot hammerhead probably only weighs about 300 pounds because they're kind of a skinnier shark.
Slender. But you hook into one of those 16-footers.
We'll never be able to catch that.
No.
But there are some 1,000-pound sharks off the coast right now. We don't want to catch it. We don't even want to mess with those because it'd just be a disaster. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, a 10-foot bull shark or tiger shark would be incredible.
That would be very incredible.
I got to talk to my guy. I have a contact.
Yeah, you got a guy down there.
Well, he doesn't live there no more. He moved to Iowa. But he said not only did he say he would
from the Outer Banks to Iowa.
He likes deer hunting. He told me he'd give me pins for deer hunting, and he told me give me some pins. He said we already know the place. He's like, you gotta go to the point if you really want. And I'm like, I ain't going down to the point for shark fishing. But he said he'd give me some pins for deer hunting. Because one day I'm gonna do it.
In the Outer Banks?
Yeah,
we seen a buck down there 2 years ago.
we did. A
He
good
was
one.
a shooter. So yeah, that's shark fishing.
It's gonna be a little bit different because this is the first time we're ever going. We are going as like the parents. So Freeman's bringing his daughter, Spaniel's bringing his son, I'm bringing Blair, Alex is bringing his kids. It's going to be a lot.
So we are going to make a fishing video from the trip, but there'll probably be a lot less.
Yeah, I got to,
Beach
because
stuff
like
on-
I know Lindsay's weird still about having Blair.
Yeah, and a
on
lot
film.
of, I mean, people don't want their little toddlers on.
I did say that we were going to not film at all, and I got some backlash from the group about that. So we are going to film the fishing. Maybe, there might not be footage of us, all the girls in their bikinis playing games and going out to the bars doing
Like last
karaoke
time.
anymore, because I don't think, for one, my wife's even going to bring a bikini anymore because she's a mom, and I don't think we're going out to the bars to do karaoke anymore either. So
You never know what.
it might be a different style video, but the fishing part is going to be covered.
Yeah.
If we catch enough fish, I'll do a couple videos. We'll see how it shakes out. Who knows? If Dad could take us down there when we were kids and survive it, I can survive this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's the beach trip. If you haven't watched our old videos, go check them out.
Yeah, there's at least
Sneak a
four.
peek at the
There's at
girls in
least
their bikinis.
4. Yeah, don't be eyeing up my wife. There's at least 4. Blair was made down there. There's at least 4 shark fishing videos from the Outer Banks on our channel. I'm trying to think. The shark, return to the surf, devil monsters, and night rays or some damn thing.
And then last year's.
And then last year would be 4. So yeah, there's 4. This will be the 5th shark
Even
fishing.
some leaky videos from down there.
Maybe. What's the leaky John boat even doing? Nothing.
His boat don't work.
Yeah, Luke comes here to the shop, turns his boat on, and runs the motor for an hour and leaves.
And then it turns off.
Yeah, I don't know. The leaky John boat is currently idle.
We
He needs to
made-
get all. He's staining his deck. He didn't want to be on the podcast today because he's got to stain his deck.
He's been waiting because it's rained all summer.
And he was at the fair all week. He's going to be. Stuart told me. I talked to Stuart. He said Luke's going to be in charge of the fair king,
pageant.
fair queen in 2 years. So
All right.
there's that. More stuff people don't care about. 33 days from now, 32 now, we'll be hunting whitetails in Kentucky. We are 32 days from hunting whitetails in Kentucky. That's fucking crazy to me.
That is pretty cool.
14 days from beach shark fishing, 32 days from fucking Kentucky whitetails. I'm in, bro.
I'm ready. That's going to be a nice trip.
Ethan might be going down tomorrow, which is today, if you're listening, and setting up feeders. I know, rah, corn feeders.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And
I think he was going to hide them so we wouldn't.
move some cameras around. Nah, I don't. We're gonna. I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast. We're gonna definitely gonna run some feeders. We've hunted that farm without feeders 2 years in a row over the green beans, and had encounters. Haven't killed one yet. We got it figured out pretty good. There's no beans this year. The fucking farmer didn't plant.
Yeah.
So
Barren wasteland fields.
that means we need to do something to up our chances. But there's 3 really nice shooters on camera. There's a 160-inch 10-point that is obviously the number 1 target buck. We believe Dylan found his shed when he was down there turkey hunting this year. So and we got plenty of video of him from last year. So there's a lot of history there. There's a good 140-inch 9-point, which we also have video of from last year. And I believe it's the buck Ethan missed while we were down there in October. I'd have to really start doing some comparisons of the rack and the footage, but I'm fairly certain it's the buck Ethan missed. So that's another cool story. And then there's a nice like low 130s 8-point, not huge.
But a lot.
3 or 4 year old probably. I know some of the guys will rah if we shoot a 3-year-old again, but I'm shooting him. If a 130-inch 8-point walks out, he's getting shot by me down there.
Yeah. A lot of nice deer in Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Not as many as last year, but things have changed a little bit. So I'll take 3 shooters over 6 shooters.
And a bigger deer this year.
Yeah, and the biggest one we've had down there so far. Born Again Matt is going to go with us. This will be our 5th hunting camp that we've shared with him, 3rd time in Kentucky. He went down yesterday and set up cams at his property. He hunts a different property. We're camped right in the middle, so Airbnb there, Matt's property, our property. 30 minutes each way.
People can roo-ha about our Airbnb, but staying in Kentucky in September in a tent is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I'll tent it up in October like we did last time. That's fine. But I am not staying in 90-degree weather in a tent in Kentucky without a shower and stuff, especially we're going to be there for 4 days. We're just fucking soft, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But we're going to be down there. It's going to be exciting. Bunch of cameras on public, too, that we haven't checked yet. Ethan's going to probably... Well, I don't know if I have time to grab them.
Probably.
So we'll see. I don't know. We're going to find out a lot. It's exciting, though. 32 days. Family Dream Farm. So here at the home farm in Ohio, we've been going pretty hard with the Family Dream Farm. New episode was out yesterday. Well, today, while I record. Yesterday, while you're listening. So check that out. It's about clover. We had a stupid rainy day earlier this week, and I spent all morning just taking care of projects. I moved some cameras off of beans and onto clover, and they've been doing really, really, really well. We finished up some of our watering hole projects. I had Eric, the neighbor, come out with his mini and dig our mosquito pit watering hole down to like 4 feet deep. So that's kind of cool. It's almost filled up right now.
That's the one in the middle woods?
Yep. Where I missed Megatron.
Does Stan still there?
Stan is still there. That's where I was going to think about putting in another fall food plot, but I got to cut a bunch of trees down and make a bunch of ruckus, and I just don't know if I'll have time.
Nah.
But we're going to finish up our fall food plots here real soon. One in particular, we planted in that we planted in Domain Overhaul, which is like a cover crop type deal, and soil builder. I don't even know if the stuff we planted is coming up. It's really weedy, but we're going to do the broadcast spray crimp method. So I'm going to go in there and broadcast a bunch of my brassica seed and probably some clover and some chicory. We got a whole bunch of stuff over there. And then I'm going to spray it with Roundup.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day or a day later, I'm going to go in once the Roundup has set into all the weeds and crimp it with the cultipacker.
So we're going to try a no-till method.
Yep, we're going to do a no-till crimp
Fall
method.
food plot.
Fall food plot. See how it works.
I think I'm going to plant a fall food plot in my house as well.
You should. You say your corn, you're not sure what the yield on your corn's going to be?
Yeah, so I was talking to our farmer. It kind of yellowed out a little bit, and he says it probably just ran out of nitrogen.
You need to get in there and spray some. Spread some.
It's 12 foot high.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a
But
nice,
we'll see.
It'll be a screening.
It's tasseled out, and it's starting to get little ears on it, so we'll see if there's any yield.
Yeah. I mean,
regardless.
I'll probably end up helping. I was going to do some today, but I never got to. We were going to see how Nick finishes up his food plots, but we'll save that for later.
But at my house, at least that corn will work as a screening, if anything.
Yeah, and you'll be able to, you said there's room behind it to plant something?
No, I'm going to plant in front of it.
But you can mow some area behind it if you need to.
I'm going to mow off some of that corn, I think.
I might end up Ethan might steal that camera from your property.
Yeah.
Take it to Kentucky.
Shit.
No, it hasn't had anything bigger than 6 point in 2 months. That might happen.
I don't need one back out there till the season, probably.
Speaking of trail cameras, though, ours have been doing so fucking good. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
And the Velvet.
We have 10 weeks until Ohio opens, or 9 weeks, so obviously a lot can change. But man, the camera's been good.
And our road scouting's been good. We've been seeing lots of year round.
The road scouting, trail cameras are all positive, so we'll see if that continues. The off season, this is we're squarely in the off season when it comes to hunting stuff. But man, it's about over. Isaac's mule deer video will be out
2 weeks.
Yeah, you have it set for a Thursday. Let's put it on a Sunday.
Tuesday or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna put it on a Sunday.
I just had to put something on YouTube so we can change it.
We're gonna have that probably released the Sunday that we are in the Outer Banks. So the 17th. That's what I'm gonna change it to.
Tuesday right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it to August 17th. We'll be down the Outer Banks, so that'll be our first fall video release. Isaac's mule deer hunt
from last year.
Pretty
exciting, short little trip, but pretty exciting.
Yeah, he said it's an hour long.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully it does well. I'm sure it will. I got a kill bottle whiskey video I got to finish up that'll be released after that. It's a fun little 12-minute long video. I'm gonna do my Gore Farm film.
Shameless plug for the working class bow hunter kill bottle.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about them a little bit later in the podcast as well. I have a Gore Farm film I got to start on that I'm going to release after that. And then the deer story sledge video will come out after that, probably while we're down in Kentucky around that time frame. It'll come out. And then it'll be Deer Camp Chronicles episode 1, like our prologue type episode of everything that we've done this summer.
So it'll be like a sum up of the food plot, sum up of the velvet skin.
Yes, and shed hunting and just all that, blah, blah,
And
blah.
that should time out about the time we're in Kentucky hunting.
That'll be probably the week after Kentucky-ish, if I get my timeline correct. And then that means the Kentucky video will post 3 weeks after that, third week of September. And then I guess we'll have to figure something out for opening weekend of deer season. I won't be able to get a video finished. I won't be able to get an episode finished for that, but we're going to have our deer shot party and start filming Ohio after that. So things are going to get real. For real. The main topic I wanted to kind of talk about before we ended this podcast, I know it's kind of a shorty. Probably our last couple podcasts have been a little bit short, but that's okay because we're going to have some super long ones later.
So are we going to blow working class bow hunter and then we're going to talk shit about him?
Well,
Happening?
a little bit. We're gonna make a video about their whiskey, but then we're gonna talk about some stuff with them, just recent social media stuff. For one, and I haven't listened to it yet, and I'm probably gonna have to. Maybe when I'm at work, working out, I'll try listening to it, or on my way to work a couple days. The recent Hunter podcast from the people I have spoke with has really, really turned some guys off. Mm-hmm. In that podcast, they kind of talked about their childhood and their families and money.
So this is Hunter, not working class.
Yeah, this one's Hunter.
Hunter.
Money that they come from and their grandfathers, and just it really kind of opened up a lot of guys' eyes to the fact that they come from a lot of money.
They're basically two little rich kids.
Yeah, at least the one. Like I said, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to, and I'll be able to give my final thoughts on it. But I've got a lot of, in my groups that I'm in and social media, I've got a lot of people talking about the fact that these guys are basically just a bunch of spoiled rich kids that were hunting thousands of acres their whole lives, and their family never had to worry about working. And this podcast deer hunting persona working hard that they're putting on, it's actually just a hobby plaything for them. Mm. And so some people don't really.
Bowmar thing makes sense. So they went out to Bowmar's farm and killed those deer.
Yeah, and some people don't really like to support people of said nature, I should say. And it's kind of funny. I have it written down here. You know, you have your evolution in the hunting space. When you're a brand new hunter and you don't know much about stuff, you're going to listen to guys that are either really cool or in similar situations to you. Maybe guys that are hunting public land or small properties. And as you grow and enjoy hunting more, and you start to lease farms or buy farms or get permission farms that you can manage, maybe you start to listen to more stuff that is, you know, in tune with that. Yeah, in tune with that kind of train of thought. And this Hunter podcast, you know, the fact that they basically have let the world know that they come from a lot of money has made a lot of people realize that these are big league guys doing big league things, and that's how they've been able to afford their huge guests.
I never really liked them because who do they resonate with? Like who?
Poachers is what we've talked about in this podcast a lot. Those guys they've interviewed every major poacher or someone that's been involved in controversy with poaching since they've been out. They got Muley Freak, CJ Alexander, Spook Span, Josh Bomar. I mean, you name anyone that's been in Bracket multiple times and they're partnered with Bracket. So anyone that's been involved with poaching or maybe bending the laws a little bit
goes on their podcast.
Been on their podcast. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they got so big. I know they got so big because of the guests, but
I mean, they did it right, and they built their brand huge, and we still listen to them from time to time, but I think they took a step backwards in the public opinion light with this last podcast is the intel that I'm gathering from that. Working class bow hunter. I still enjoy listening to them. I do not listen to every episode because there's so many of them.
And you can't.
They're too long.
Unless you're a truck driver, how can you listen to a 7-hour podcast?
Yeah,
it would take me weeks to listen to that.
Nick talks about how he likes podcasts being around 2 hours long.
Because he's in a truck all day.
Because he's, you know, in a truck or doing this or doing that. Like I only have time to listen for about 30 to 45 minutes a day on my drive to work. So if you have a 3-hour podcast, it takes me a week to listen to it, and I get bored after a certain amount of time. And their podcasts are all very long, so I don't have time to listen to all of them for as long as they are.
I like a 45-minute podcast. That's what I like. Unless someone's telling a real complex story.
Yeah, if we have time to sit down and really get involved with something, I don't mind doing the 2-hour drink a bunch of beers and talk stories and deer and shop podcast. But I can't. We can't do that every week. That 45 to an hour is kind of our sweet spot that we enjoy.
I can understand how they can do it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're full time, and that's the point. That's actually exactly where I'm going. So a lot of guys I've talked to that used to be working class bow hunter fans, or maybe guys that turned me on to working class bow hunter, or just guys that were big supporters of them, have recently kind of started to not be as big of fans of them because they've kind of evolved in recent times away from the working class bow hunter. They got multiple full-time guys now. They're not working any other jobs. They're very heavily involved with all their sponsors, which helps pay their paychecks, which I understand. But they're just shoving Aluma trailers and, Grizzly coolers and everything down your throats at all times. And sometimes they can get a little holier than thou. I mean, that would be a problem that I would love to have, but we just don't kill big enough bucks to ever talk down on people. But sometimes they tend to talk down on people a little bit and maybe even kind of bash different methods of hunting from time to time. And they've really gotten involved with this Africa stuff, and their new show is all Africa hunting so far. And they've gone to these Africa trips. And
so let's talk about that.
For guys like us, I think that's worse than watching paint dry.
So is this the first working class bow hunter like branded show?
Yeah, they've had some videos and stuff, but this is they've started the show
like
Unhinged. They've started this show where they are filming their hunts now, and like their first 3 episodes are all in Africa, and they're miserably awful.
Yeah, working class bow hunter, and their first, like, why didn't they just do some public land videos and these can come out later on?
They don't do no public land. Yeah. They're hunting Illinois' private farms, man.
I just didn't understand. Like, working class bow hunter, and they're just in an African pit blind over a water hole, hay bale feeder crap, and they shoot a kudu. Like,
I know, and obviously, here's our hot take for the day. We can talk about the audience can leave their comments. But Africa hunting, the way it's done now, like these trips these guys are going on, and they always say, well, you don't know it until you try it. It's so much fun. You got to do it. They haven't shown any hanging out around the lodge, which the Deer Shot podcast is all about, the hanging out around the lodge and having a good time. They've shown none of that. And the hunting just looks miserably awful. They're sitting over water and feeders, and all these weird animals that I don't even know what their names are come in. And, Kurt shot a buffalo, perfect 10-ring shot, and they were never able to recover it because it was too dangerous, and it lived, even though it's supposedly its heart got smoked. This thing lived, and they've never found it. I saw some on their podcast. They think maybe people came and stole the carcass. That could have happened, but from a person who's been watching and making hunting videos for a very, very long time, I'd rather watch paint dry than Africa hunting videos. They are the worst thing ever.
Unless they are done well.
Grab your 416 and walk out in the woods and shoot a Cape buffalo in the head.
Yeah, and like the old Jim Shockey shit where showing being at the lodge or showing going out to the villages, showing driving around all day. Like this video,
the scenery is not even good for their videos. Like, it doesn't even look like Africa.
Like, film some B-roll, do something. This video is literally them in a concrete pit blind or whatever this thing is.
Yeah,
underground shooting at these, and it's just it's terrible. It's Rich Dennis hunting at its finest.
Rich Dennis hunting at its finest is the key. And here's the thing that I
guess Dennis are working class as much as we are, but still,
I don't know about that. Dennis is a highly, highly educated man.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I don't like is the fact that, and you are allowed to support the people that you enjoy, and you are allowed to be fans of people. I would hope that if we made really terrible videos, that you guys would call them out, just like you did with Luke and his broadhead take. Please call us out and tell us that's wrong or that's stupid or you guys are a bunch of idiots, because people are sucking the D on these videos about how awesome they are and how well they're fucking edited and how they're knocking it out of the park, and it's just bold-faced lies. Like, it's not good. So if you think that's good, it's cringy to me that you would support it that heavily.
They look just like a YouTube video that any random Joe Blow would post.
Yeah, there's nothing special about them at all.
Maybe there was some slow-mo footage, so they did dial on their camera, and that's what they did. Yeah, slow-mo footage.
I guess we're just being grouchy, but I'm just not a fan. I guess part of the problem is we were very excited for this Unhinged series. I brought it up on this podcast multiple times. Like, dude, check out the Working Class Bow Hunter Unhinged when it comes out. They've been talking about it. It should be awesome. It's going to be sweet. And so far, dud. Straight dud.
So maybe they'll show some different hunts, or maybe they'll, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt's 200, I think, is going to be on the show, so like that would be cool.
Who was the dude that left?
So
Clint
was a guy that got kind of accepted by them as a member, started being on it a lot. He had a side podcast with the CC files.
So does he film for anybody right now? Because I see all his social media. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I see all his social media.
Well, he got,
and it looks like he's doing some cool shit.
I don't know exactly. I have not been following him, and I don't know what he's doing because
it's all Western.
Well, because he had a really ugly breakup with the Working Class Bowhunter. He was talking shit about them behind their back and using their brand name like in a bad way, I guess. And there was a very ugly breakup. So once they broke up with him, I respected the fact that Working Class Bowhunter started their own brand and were doing their own thing. And then this guy tried to come in and capitalize on it. So I've been on team Working Class Bowhunter. So for all our differences and the fact that I don't like their Western videos, they've obviously still been able to create this brand out of nothing, and it's awesome. And we obviously are fans of that. And I'm still going to listen to the podcast, especially when it's episodes that I want to see or guests that are going to make sense. But it's just strange. The Clint thing, he flamed out bad, and it's like a taboo word.
I don't know if he flamed out. I think he just flamed out with them.
With them, yes. I don't know what he's doing now that he's not with them, I should say.
Yeah, it looks like he's sponsored by Onyx and Stone Glacier, so he's doing something.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to look into that. If you know anything about Clint Casper, let us know. Because I think we've met him
now
before.
It just says he's a freelance bow hunting writer, outdoorsman, and farmer.
My article hasn't been published yet, so I'm not a writer yet.
Oh, yeah. What magazine was that going to be in?
Deer Hunting Magazine or Deer Hunter Magazine. It's
Did it get accepted?
He said he was going to air it he said he was going to publish it for a fall episode or for a fall edition. He does 4 years, so spring, summer, fall, winter.
Getting paid?
If it's published, I'm supposed to get paid. I did write an article and got it submitted. He accepted it. It's Don Higgins magazine, I believe. Not his magazine. He's an editor for the magazine.
Oh, speaking of that.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up now too.
Jay had an article posted.
Oh, I was going to talk about Don Higgins.
Oh, I was talking about Jay.
Jay had an article put Rockslide. I think we talked about
online,
that.
yeah, Rockslide.
Yeah, rockslide.com. Jay, it's not his first. He's had multiple articles published, but Higgins, I was going to talk about him real quick. He caused a big controversy. This is some online stuff. He caused a big social media controversy because he posted a 3-year-old buck that he told everyone they should pass, and the examples why and stuff. Well, the same things we talk about a lot. If you own a farm in this area, this is the kind of buck you need to pass. Because he'll be a lot bigger next year, and all the stuff that we agree with. Blah blah blah. Man, some people got mad about that. Fuck you.
Well, people always get mad.
We don't. It must be nice to have a farmer. A buck like this could be walking. That's the biggest deer I've seen in 8 years hunting in Pennsylvania in the Allegheny National Forest. All those types of comments. So he rebutted on it like some more stuff, obviously, but it's just interesting to me. Because I would be more team Don Higgins. Please pass the 3-year-olds, especially if you own the farm and you know the area and you spend a lot of time there. It's better to pass those younger deer so they get bigger. But man, people took some offense to that.
Which we kind of get the same backlash when we talk about it too.
Yeah.
But if you want big deer, you got to pass small ones.
Yeah, if you want big deer in the areas where you're going to be hunting all the time, you need to pass the small ones. And if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff because it's your property and you're passing them and you want the deer to be good, you should probably do it everywhere you go. That's my take on the matter. And I can already hear some of the controversy. People are going to say, well, like, how do you know the difference between a 3 and a 4-year-old? And like in the heat of the moment, you don't. But you know the difference between a 100-inch 6-point or a 100-inch 8-point and a 140-inch buck, which is probably a little bit older, but hard to say. Speaking of recent articles, before we close out, there's been a couple more MSU studies, the Mississippi State University studies. I don't know if you've seen them. I just
watched. I don't know if you commented on one, but it just popped up on mine.
I don't know if I commented. I don't think I commented on it, but I've been screenshotting them to talk about it at a later date in the group chat.
This is going to be huge when it comes to our one friend, the mobile hunter.
Well, the articles I'm talking about are. There was a buck that was 5 years old, collared. He had all his beds, and every night he took pretty much the same path out to a bean field that was over 100 acres, but he only ate in a 5-acre section of said bean field. And then the next year, as a 6-year-old, He bedded in the same area, open woods, maybe some bluffs, but he had more sporadic beds. Never really used the same bed twice.
That was the point I was going to bring up, because a lot of people say you need to find his bed and you can hunt on his bed, hunt on his bed.
And this 5 and 6 year old buck for 2 years worth of studies never really bedded in the same spot. It's the same general area.
It's a 20-acre spot.
It was 200 acre. It was a 200 acre block of woods, and he was just bedding throughout it almost every night, taking the same path down.
You're not hunting his bed every day.
Well, things changed in year 6. The field was no longer planted in beans. It might have been corn or something. And he stopped. He only visited that field 4 times. Once he realized it wasn't beans, he was only there 4 times. He fed around a grain bin a little bit and started bedding a little bit more in some like oxbow lake type areas and doing like a natural forage kind of diet, and really changed up his pattern, which goes to show things that we talk about here on our podcast, our family dream farm and stuff. You have a buck that's eating in this bean field every day. He's a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old. You can't wait for him to show back up the next year, and your farmer plants corn, and you never see him again. You think he's dead. And then the next year, maybe farmer plants beans again, and he comes back.
Have they really got a definitive answer on buck beds? I know bucks will bed in the same spot every once in a while. But, like, does he bed in that same spot 4 days a week, 6 days a week, 1 day a week, 1 day here, 1 day there?
I would assume it's all dependent on the individual deer, obviously. I think each deer is going to be a little bit different. This particular buck was bedding in a pretty large area, but all the beds were kind of in the same general terrain. I know that
because I know we're guilty. We're like, when we're trying to dial in on a buck, especially you and Nick, you're trying to dial in on a buck. You're like, oh, he's bedding in there. He's bedding in there. He's bedding in there. But he could be bedding half that problem.
Well, and he was this buck in particular was moving a mile from bed to feed at night.
Every day.
And that's something we don't want to accept as hunters here, because I'm like, that was down in Mississippi. There was only like one house in the entire area that they were showing. Here, 1 mile linear, there's 100 houses, and he's going to go past 30 different dudes that are hunting with trail cameras and corn piles and stands. So like, it doesn't exactly translate to our area. So like, if we have a buck that we're hunting in a bean field here this fall, and he's showing up in the bean field at last light, but he's bedding a mile away, that means he's walking by potentially 30 hunters on opening day before he gets to us.
Well, and sometimes we don't accept
that's hard to stomach.
I'm a fat, middle-aged white guy who can run a mile in 7 minutes. How fast can that deer run a mile if it wants to?
Even if he's walking, it's only going to take him 20 minutes to just do it.
So, yeah, we see a deer a mile down the road. We're like, oh, we have no chance of him over the next 2 weeks. When in reality, he could be here in 5 minutes.
We think in such small terms here. We have our acreage, and this is a bedding area, this is a bedding area, this is a bedding area. Each one's an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres. And we think he has to be bedding in this 3-acre bedding area and moving out to this bean field, which is 192 yards away. When in reality, that is not what's happening at all. Sometimes, yes, but not often.
The deer are moving way more than we
more than we think. Way more than we think. And when you see these studies, and I know that a lot of people pick these studies apart. It's Mississippi. It's big ag country and bluffs. It's not Ohio. It's not West Virginia. That is true, and the deer will obviously act differently here than they do there. But it still goes to show you that this buck, proof's in the pudding. He's moving that distance as a mature buck every day. It's hard to accept that as fact, but it is fact.
It is fact.
It is fact. So you just got to be,
and that deer,
at the end of the day, you just got to get out in the woods. You just got to be out in the woods. You never know what might happen.
Everybody thinks, oh, I got that deer on camera twice a day. Every day he's been here. It's a done deal. Unless that deer is sitting in front of your camera for 24 hours, he's going very far away.
It's a lot of guys that we talk to are thinking about adding like bedding to their farm so that the deer, I'm going to keep bucks around and I want natural forage. It'd be nice. It'd be interesting to know on average, like a collared buck, a mature buck that's been collared in Ohio or even it would take Mississippi or Texas. How many miles do they walk a day? Do they walk 10, 6, 5, 14? Like I'm talking just distance, not linear, but just total walking.
Some days.
So if you have a 40-acre property or a 126-acre property or even a 500-acre property, if a buck's putting on 10 miles a day, he's leaving your farm often. He's checking a bean field that's a mile away and coming back and then hitting up a ridge on his way back that's 2 miles from yours as the curves around and is coming back to your farm. To think that you're going to put in a bedding area and keep that buck there is just asinine. Mm-hmm. But what
Maybe
it will
for a day
do,
at a time.
and Yeah, a day at a time, or when you want him to. Maybe right at the beginning of the season, has a hot food source that he's hitting, so you can get him in between those during this 2 or 3 day window, like Luke did a couple years ago with his buck. That can happen. The better thing that it does is it introduces good bedding area for does, so that during the rut, more than one buck's going to come through and know that there's does bedded in set area and check it. And you're hunting during the rut, November or December is going to be a lot better. But to think that you can keep deer bottlenecked to 600 acres or less, I think is
asinine.
That's a big ask. I think that's a big ask.
You can try your best to keep them patterned, but
yeah. And when they disappear for 3 or 4 days at a time, they could be miles away, and someone else is thinking the same thing about you.
And you could be getting that buck. Oh, I got 3 pictures of him this week. He's living here. We're good. You could be the outlier. He could be visiting your corner of his range 3 times a week and living 3 miles away.
Yeah.
Makes you think. Makes you wonder.
I'm pondering right now. But yeah, that's episode 105 of the Deer Shot Podcast. We're going to cut it short, guys, right there, about 45 minutes. We appreciate it. Maybe next week we will get you the Hot Topics podcast. We'll give you a little more.
Ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, ruffle some feathers up a little bit.
We might have done something with this podcast.
Whatever. I don't think it was too.
As always, thanks for listening.
Yep.
Fuck Chris Brackett.
Yeah, fuck Chris Brackett.
That's how we end it.
Haven't caught any backlash from that yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Deer Shot Podcast, episode 105. We are out.
Out.